Alright, step one, you obviously want to take your tire off. And then you obviously need one jack. But if a feller is working on stuff, he really needs 2 floor jacks if you don't have 2. But we'll get that one over here. And I'll put her under there, not only to get the jack stand out of the frozen dirt, but I want to show you how to check this and how sometimes it'll seem like it's good even though it's not, because it's being bound to seem good. But I'll show you here in just a second. I think I'm gonna have to get a bigger hammer, I think. This is crazy. Well, now since I'm lifted this vehicle, it's putting some tension on this upper ball joint. It's not wiggling like it was. So I'm going to lower the jack down, and this jack stand is going to put more upward pressure on it, and that'll allow this to move. So as you see here, little girl, what do you do? Hello. Hello. So we'll lower her down a little bit. Okay. Now we have pressure pushing up on the lower control arm. So I'm going to try not to rattle this rotor here, but that little bit of movement, that can cause you to lose control. Obviously it's wearing, so that means it's just that much closer to coming apart. So we don't want that. So we need to take out these top 4 bolts, and then the nut and the cotter pin on the other side. I might even be able to do it by hand. No, you're not. But we're gonna get this separated and take out these bolts. But there's not really much to this. I do have maybe a couple other tricks that you might not have seen yet. So we'll try those out if it's stuck. Alright, we got some tools out to clean up the bolts. We got a little bit to help move her along there, like coffee in the morning. And then I got some pliers to try to pull the cotter pin out. So let's clean it up, spray some lubricant on there, see if we can get that pin out, find out what size nut we got, get that apart. Alright, now forgive me, the old military's out doing their thing, so we might have some traffic. Bring you in for a close-up here. See the threads? Okay, nut's going to want to come off a whole lot easier, and the old lubricant will be able to get down, penetrant will be able to get down in there. You can see this one I kind of did a little bit, but you get that crap in them threads, as most mechanics will tell you, that ain't you ain't gonna have fun. So these ones, that's what they look like before they're hit. So we're gonna hit these, clean them up a little better, and then we'll work on the bottom side. Put you over here. Alright, don't set her stuff in the snow. A little bit right on your drill. Might as well get some in them bolts down in there. Okay, now we'll get to the underside here. Well, that pin came out pretty easy. I usually don't bend them over too far, because then it's a pain to get them out. But it ended up grabbing a hold of her, stuck a little pin in there. This little guy, put that little guy in there, ended up getting it to come out a little. Should have sprayed some go-go juice on her, but grabbed a hold of her, pulled her out, pulled one side out, and it came from the other way and pulled that one out. So now we're rocking. So now we got to get a socket on these, get a wrench on that bottom one, get them all loose, and start popping it apart. So the ball joint nut on the bottom side there seems to be a 1-inch. I'm gonna use a hammer to break her free, but I figured I better jack up the truck and take some of the tension off of this jack stand. That way I can check the bottom ball joint also, because we're gonna do all this, take all that out. If the bottom ball joint's bad, you're taking everything apart anyway. You might as well just change that out. So if that's the case, that's what we'll do here. Movement, but now we've got it lifted up. There's no tension besides this weight on it, so you should still be able to move the bottom one now. So now we're just trying to wiggle this bottom, and I've been trying and it doesn't seem to be. Hey, howdy neighbor. So we gotta wiggle this bottom. Let's see. This ball joint seems to be good, which is good because I really didn't feel like doing that yet. Did the right thing, and I didn't clean the nut off down there. It didn't look too bad, but I did spray a little of the old PV on her. So now we're just gonna take our old sled, get the box end on there, make sure she's on there good. We're gonna hold the wrench, give her a good couple swacks. Seem to move pretty good. That's always promising. Unless it's spinning, that sucks. In that case, guy can't even get the wrench on, don't you know? Come on. Probably be easier if you turn the wheel too. You don't need to turn the wheel. Just had to flip the old wrench over. The spanner, mate. It's a spanner. Caveman strength. Come on, where are you? Stopping right at the end. You know, it would have been easier if you would have cleaned it. Yeah. An inch and an eighth somewhere. Whoa. Get them, boys and girls. Come on. See, now we're cooking with grease. Sometimes you just gotta use the wrong wrench, don't you know? Now, before I try to take this apart, I want to show you a trick. Come on, dirty son of monkey's uncle. Now, you can use all kinds of other tools. It'd probably be a lot easier, yeah? Yeah? I got you. I win. Now, before I get to this upper ball joint trick, I figured we might as well turn down the sketchiness and what, that? Yeah, that's part of the sketchy. What about this berry? Oh man, she's in there. I think I'm gonna have to get a bigger hammer, I think. This is crazy. Oh, jeez. Judo whack. Oh man. Judo whack. Out there. You son of. Oh. Well, there's that. Well, maybe I can get the tire in now. I was gonna just break her off the rest of the way, but we might be able to bend her back and fix her, don't you know? Well, I said I was gonna do the right thing. I kinda am, but I'm not doing it the right way. Whoa, I kid you not. That sucker just fell out, so we're gonna go back up with her. This time we got her in there pretty good, I think. Ball joint. The nut is not on it. Okay, but obviously it's still not coming up yet. So we're gonna lift her up. So what we're trying to do is separate the upper ball joint from the spindle. So we're gonna try to wedge in something in between here, and make sure you got it supported a lot better than I do, but you're going to want to try to drop this whole control arm, and we'll see if we can get her to pop. But you got to do it quick. No, she didn't do it on that. Call me a liar. There she goes. Oh, be careful of your wire though, don't you know? She's brand new. Oh, baby, come on now. Woo! Okay, so there we go. That's how I take them apart. You can also tap on it with a hammer with that force in there, and that'll help pop her free sometimes, but usually you just work her like that a couple times and shazam. Now, for those who might want to know, we got a 13 on the top, and you know it's a 13 when you have to pound it on there. But all that rust, you don't want to. So it looks like we're going to have to get a wrench on the bottom too. Now I'm going to clean these a little better. Get your eyes on that. Oh, you're not holding it. Come on. There we go. We'll find you later. She got hot. All right. Lumos. Now let's bring her up a little bit more. Now if you're wondering, looking at this and going, well, mine don't have bolts. Mine look like rivets or something. Well, friend, you have an OEM original from the factory ball joint. So depending on what year it is and what year the vehicle is, that might not be a good thing. Something this old, they should have been changed out a few times by now. Come on, baby. Let go. Alright. So now we got our warranted ball joint, and it looks like it actually comes with the hardware too. So we're not just going to use this hardware and save our hardware. So now let's just prep these surfaces, which they've already been cleaned up now. And then look down in there and make sure you don't see anything you don't like. I don't like some of that. So I'm going to reach down in there and scrape some of it out. That way this goes all the way down. Let's take a look in here a little better. See the snowflakes? But there was those chunks on the side. I picked all them out and ran that brush in there. And a little bit of grease, what you're seeing there down on the bottom. But we'll wipe that off and then start assembling here. But we're going to put the bolts in up top and push this in some and lift it up on the lower part of the ball joint. Just be cautious of your wire here. Might as well unclip her. Give her a little bit of room. But don't just let her all the way down, or else you pull on the wire and your brake line, and that ain't no good. So this kit came with a couple of short bolts and all the other long ones. We got them in, we got her tightened down now. We can't put this on yet till we get spindle up a little farther. Who was paying attention? I do things right because I got to do it twice. See? I meant to mention this in the last video, but that fell off while I was fighting it. And yeah, now we got to set it down and do it again. So we'll be right back. We We just went down with the jack a little bit. It's not too big of a deal. Pull our wire back. Lift her up. Okay, we got it back in there. See? Yeah. Okay. Now I gotta push her back over towards the hole. Make sure that boot's up where it needs to be. Okay, now we should be able to get this bottom nut on. Seems to be 22, but these top ones were 13s. Now we'll be able to tighten this up, and then we're almost there. We just gotta do the shock video here still too. So you're gonna want to tighten her up, give her all your ooga doogas. Torque setting is all your ooga doogas, and then you're gonna have to try to align that hole. And I recommend to tighten it even more if you can, and then put your pin in. You can see the hole there. We're almost there, so I just got to tighten it up a little bit more. We'll put the pin in, and when you spread it, just spread her enough like so, because don't be bending her all around and doing what a lot of guys do, because when you go to try to take it out, it's going to be a nightmare. So just open her up and it ain't going to fall out. Just bend one side even. So I recommend, I don't do it often enough, but put a little bit of anti-seize on the pin, because it'll come out that much easier next time. So she slid right in. I'm just bending it down a little bit with my thumb. So right here, she's just, that's it, folks. I don't really bend it no more than that, because how's that gonna fall out? That's not going nowhere. So you can go ahead and bend it all you want, but as long as you tighten it like I says, and I had to keep going pretty far to even get to this hole tightening wise. So now we got this other bolt tightened down. Yes, I didn't put the lock nut or lock washer on there because there wasn't enough there. So we got us a 5/16. We're going to tighten this down. We're going to put some grease in this ball joint since it's all fresh. But don't forget your grease, sir. Come on now. Gotta be almost there. And don't get crazy tightening the thing. It ain't gonna rattle out of there. You know, that's way more than enough. Alright, go ahead and grab the gun. Alright. Start filling her up. Now we want to pump them up till we can start to see it coming out just a little bit. And just make sure you ain't leaking it out of the top here, which we're good. That's going to take quite a bit, and it is cold, so it's going to take quite a few. See her bulging out the sides? Okay, that's good. She's bulging out the sides pretty good. She ain't squirting out just yet, but we don't want to get too crazy now. But we've got her all tightened down, sensors on there. So that's the end of the ball joint video.